Yo, what's good, my people? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Content Animator, and I'm here to bring you another WWE Raw review. So tonight I'm reviewing WWE Raw for June the 9th, 2014, and let's get this kicked off. So you start off WWE Raw, and they're in Minneapolis, however you fucking say that, and you got a pretty hot crowd tonight. You kick off with Stephanie and Triple H, the Authority, come to the ring, and they basically give the bad news to us, not to them, that they're going to strip Daniel Bryan of the championship. He's not going to make the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. They bring the doctor out, say that he's not going to make it. Not sure if it's the real fucking doctor or not, but they basically say they're going to strip the titles from him. I'm kind of sad they didn't bring him out to actually strip him from him in the ring and, do it that way. It kind of felt like, a little heartless to do it this way and leave him at home and strip him that way. And it kind of felt illogical because wouldn't he have the titles with him at home too? So, it didn't really make sense, that part. But I'm just happy they have this all figured out, and we're just going forward with this. They set up qualifying matches for later on the night, and this is going to be that's all going to be for the title at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. So after that, they talk about the Shield, and you get Triple H, who basically says this is going to be the last night for the Shield, and they're going to bring the Wyatt family out, and they're going to beat the shit out of them. And it's going to be a 3-on-3 match, and Shield has to find a partner. This whole segment was pretty okay to me. I don't think that, was anything too special out of it, but I do like the way, both members of the Authority had very good heelish rays in here, and you had the crowd who were chanting no every time they said they was going to strip Daniel Bryan, and called him a B-plus player and said he had A-plus skills, but, he has a B-plus body or whatever they said. I thought that was pretty cool. So next you get your first qualifying match. Well, your first qualifying match of this Raw, which is Sheamus versus Bad News Barrett. And I thought to say this was a pretty good match here. Both of these guys went out there and they worked really good together. They both was hitting some really good hits. You had Bad News, who did this suplex off of the rope where he did a jump off the rope, then hit the ground and suplex Sheamus. Looked very nice. You also had him do a headbutt at a part of this match, which was really good. Sheamus did his moves and stuff too. He jumped off the ropes onto the ground and actually fucked himself up on a barricade, which is pretty nice. And you actually had him do, his special things that he do, which was pretty good. Bad News was fucking Sheamus up in a corner towards the end of the match after he did a wastelands and stepped back and ended up eating a bro kick from Sheamus when Sheamus ends up picking up the win from this. I thought this was a pretty good match here. I thought it was even better than the one that they had on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. So yeah, this was pretty good here, and hopefully, Sheamus can actually do something in the Money in the Bank match, and hopefully, most definitely, they find something for Bad News to do. He also cut a good promo at the beginning. It's not really anything too special from it, but just him saying that, bad news for Daniel Bryan, but basically good news for him, and he's going to win the belt. So next you get Lana, who comes out, and she starts going ham on President Obama. They show this video of somebody secretly taping him during his workouts, and he just looked like, kind of like a weakling type of guy, but, it's a fucking dude who's president, and Obama was a nerd, so, they just start going ham on him and calling him a sissy and weakling and stuff, and then they start showing pics of Vladimir Putin, of him doing karate and him riding a horse with no shirt and shit. So it was pretty funny for what this is, and I thought they used the Obama footage really well here. You could tell this had to be Vince's idea, or at least somebody back there that's with Vince's idea to do this shit. This is just wild, man. So you go into the match. It's Rusev versus Zack Ryder, Squash's Ryder, and they basically, do the whole celebration thing in the ring and drop the flag. I would say Rusev is looking very strong, more than he did when he came in right here. I think the feud with Big E did an okay job to get him a little bit more over, but I think he needs more direction. Right now, he just feels like he's back at the spot he was when he came in. I do think he's looking like a strong character, but he needs somebody to feud with right now. And I think either finding somebody like Mark Henry, probably, even though it's a black dude, or even the Big Show would be a good feud for him coming up to, get him towards, probably going towards a, U.S. title or something like that. Next, you get a match with Goldust and R-Truth, who Cody Rhodes picks for Goldust, versus Ryback. An okay match here is basically Goldust losing because he doesn't have a good partner here. After the match, in another promo later on, they show Goldust and in the back talking to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes basically tell Goldust he's going to partner with somebody he's never seen, Goldust never seen before. So I'm not sure who it is. It may be Cody Rhodes dressed up as somebody else. It may be Adam Rose or something like that. So I'm curious to see who it is, but I'm not really having too much high hopes for this as far as the way this storyline is going. It's been okay so far, but I like to see it progress into something more. Next, you get 3MB who come out. They basically say the Shield was supposed to come and cut a promo, but they're here now. And then the Shield come out and just beat the shit out of these guys. Dean Ambrose and them start throwing them onto the outside and throwing them over barricades and just hopping on them and whooping their ass. You get Heath Slater who tries to run up the ramp and run away and ends up catching a spear from Roman Reigns after he just hits the cut and just run into Heath Slater. And you get Dean Ambrose who gets on the mic and just goes ham. He just starts talking about how the Shield is probably one of the greatest factions ever, and how he's just basically going to fuck Seth Rollins up. He starts saying my brother and stuff like that. And he starts saying I'm gonna rearrange your face, take your nose and put it where your ear is, rip your ear off, then tear your dirty hair out, shove it in your mouth, and it's going to be able to fit because you're not going to have any teeth there. And at the end of the promo, he just says he's going to whoop your ass, and he just went ham on Seth Rollins. A very good promo from Dean Ambrose. Then you get Roman Reigns who gets on the mic and he basically says, you betrayed us, you're dirt, and it's things you don't do in life. Tug on Superman's cape, piss in the wind, and betray your brothers. So I really did like both guys' promos. I thought Roman Reigns was just simple and to the point. It was okay. He's not that great on the mic, but in the ring is where it shines for him. And Dean Ambrose here, man, was just fucking phenomenal. They have a match later on tonight, and after this, they basically was saying, come at us, Seth Rollins. We gonna fuck you up if we see you. So after that, you get Layla, who's in the back getting her hair did, and I heard it, and she's talking to the stylist and just chatting up with her, and you get Summer Rae out of nowhere who just pours milk onto her head and just starts beating the shit out of her, throwing it to the table, knocked the table over with her under it, and just starts pouring shit on top of her. A really good segment right here. I thought this was a really nice way for Summer Rae to get a little bit of revenge from her. From what happened with Fandango, and hopefully it can set up something nice between them. Probably the biggest of a shine out of the whole Fandango, Layla, and Summer Rae thing that they've done so far. Everything else has been pretty mediocre at best, and I think this has been the best thing out of the whole little feud between them. And Layla just looked fucking totally pissed here. So after that, you get later on, and after that, which happened pretty early in the show, you get the Usos who go out to take on Fandango, who comes out with the just like ragged looking Layla and Damien Sandow. Shit, man. So Damien Sandow comes in this 2210, the fuck you want to call it, and he starts doing that little ribbon dance and shit, and just I don't know what to fucking say. I mean, the crowd was cheering his name and was loving it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, dude, I guess he's going with it and he's actually acting the shit out. I mean, I don't know what to say about this. I'm just speechless. So basically, the match goes down. The Usos pick up the win here. Layla's pretty pissed off because of still what happened to her. Usos jump onto Sandow and pick up the win, like I said. Really nothing match. The crowd was into it, and I guess for all the wrong reasons because how crazy Sandow was looking, but this is just craziness, man. Total craziness. So next you get Bo Dallas, who comes to the ring and he starts cutting his promo about Daniel Bryan and just basically going ham on him, talking about how Daniel Bryan should have believed. He's in a match between him and Xavier Woods. It's kind of weird still seeing Xavier Woods job out to guys, but in the match they're hyping up Bo Dallas that he's on a winning streak of 5 wins. This match right here itself, though, wasn't really that great. I thought the match that he had on SmackDown with Santino, of all people, was a lot better. It showed a lot more heelish side from Bo Dallas, which, I thought he really needs. Here, he did a little heel, had a couple heel aspects to him, but it really didn't shine out here. It just felt more like a general match between him and Woods. He picked up the win over Woods with the Bulldog. It was an average match at best, but I still think that him cutting those promos at the beginning and the things that he do character-wise in these matches is what's going to get him over, and I don't think he does enough of that at all when what he does here. So he needs to like really pick that up. Hopefully they can find something else with Xavier Woods as well. He's another guy who just came up from NXT and seemed to be just dropping off and going nowhere. Next, you get Paul Heyman, who comes out and he just starts hyping up Brock Lesnar, talking about how, they're in Minneapolis and Brock Lesnar used to wrestle here as far as I think his collegiate stuff, and they're saying that this is the best place for Brock Lesnar to come back and do the whole celebration thing for him beating the Undertaker streak and finally going after the title. And he starts to look like he's going to introduce Brock Lesnar and just brings out Cesaro, which I thought was pretty funny. And I thought it was just another okay way for Paul Heyman to do the whole my client Brock Lesnar thing. So next you get the match between Cesaro versus Rob Van Dam, another qualifying match. I thought this match was okay here. The beginning of the match really was more of Rob Van Dam taking the lead, and it was kind of slow, and Rob Van Dam was still like very off here and still clunky. His time being back really hasn't been that great to me. He doesn't feel like his body is still there anymore. But he's going against, Cesaro, who can pretty pick up the match towards the end, and that's exactly what Cesaro did. Cesaro hit a few nice moves here when he throws the guy up and then hits the European uppercut, and also this double arm power bomb that he did, which is another very nice move, and all that led into him hitting the neutralizer, and he basically led the end of this match and made it a little bit better than what it was going to be. And I actually did start liking the match towards the end here. So Cesaro's going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match for the title. So as far as the guys that got in the match so far with Cesaro, Sheamus, Del Rio, and Randy Orton, I think it's an okay lineup so far. Once I get to this last final match, I'll start saying what I think should be happening. So next, you get Seth Rollins, who come out, and Michael Cole is having a sit-down interview with Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins just basically goes in and starts talking about how he had to do what he had to do. He created the Shield. He's the architect of the Shield, and the other guys of the Shield won't be shit without him. And I really did like in this promo where he's making himself look like the big top guy that without him everybody else would just flounder. Roman Reigns, even though he's big and tough, would just flounder. Even though Dean Ambrose is really good at promos and crazy, when it comes to his in-ring work, he would just be a lunatic and he would just go crazy and be in a ditch somewhere. And I really did like how he played that up. And he basically explained why he did it, saying he had to evolve, and the next stage was to join Evolution, and that is basically the thing of the Shield was going to hold him back, and he would just need it's time for him to overshadow them. So I thought it was an okay way to explain it. I think he could have explained it a little bit more clearer. He was basically just saying those guys were business partners, and it wasn't saying it in so much words, as far as he was saying a lot of words, but not saying it, direct. So I wish he could have been more direct here, but it was okay for what it was. He basically just goes in on them and just starts saying, come at me, guys. You said you was going to come at me, you was going to beat me up. Well, here I am. And you get the Shield, who comes out. Wyatt family appears, and they just start going at each other. They finally get to Seth Rollins, who he wore the suit tonight, so he's not in the Shield guard tonight. But they start going after him, and Seth Rollins take off his jacket, and he's trying to get at them and stuff. And then you get Bray Wyatt, who comes out and starts fighting. Then Cena comes out, and they set up the match with Cena in it for later on the night. I thought this was a pretty okay segment here as far as the fight goes. I thought the Seth Rollins part was very good. I thought he did a good job at the promo and answering Michael Cole's questions. I just wish it was more direct. The whole thing with Cena being in this, and I think it's okay because you can't think of any other top faces that'll be in the part where Cena's in, besides somebody like Sheamus, who already had something tonight, and Cena already has something going down with Bray Wyatt, so it seems logical to put him in this spot. As far as both of these guys go, Cena and Bray Wyatt, it's kind of the thing of where okay, where are these guys going to go from here? Because I hope they're not going to put them in a match together, and I hope they are going to put them in the Money in the Bank. I think Bray Wyatt would be the perfect person to win that title and to be somebody who goes against somebody like Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. That both of them would have a lot of heat towards each other, and I think you can sell the show with both of them very well. So you get this going on for later tonight, your 3-on-3 tag match. Next, you get Alicia Fox versus Paige, and you got Oksana out there with Alicia Fox. And it was a typical match at first, just a similar match that these two girls had before, especially towards what they had at the pay-per-view. The match actually starts getting good where Alicia Fox is beating down on Paige, and Paige just lets out this primal scream. And that's when the crowd actually gets behind Paige, and Alicia Fox's character was kicking in too. So I think from the moves in this match weren't that great, but what really saved this is that Paige actually started showing some character here, and she started showing some aggression, and that actually, made the match a little bit better for what it was. Alicia Fox did have some comeback here, but it wasn't, really too much of anything. And Paige ends up winning with the Paige tap out, which was pretty okay. Like I said, the match itself was okay, but what I really got from here was both of these girls just putting on more character, and Paige finally showing some character from her. So I really did like that. After the match, that's where you get Alicia Fox, who starts going ham. She is looking at Oksana and just, smiling at her, and it's just looking weird. Then she starts beating the shot of Oksana and goes out and starts shoving popcorn into her face and dashing water on her and stuff, and just like going crazy onto her. Then she starts smiling and hugging her, and then starts back doing that, throwing popcorn into her face. So I thought that was more interesting, and they actually gave a lot of this some good time here. So it was very cool what they did here, and I thought some real good character stuff here. Hopefully they can find something good with Alicia Fox coming from this, and it's even looking like they're more playing upon the fact that these two girls are still friends, but Oksana's going to have to be fearful of Alicia Fox anytime that she may go crazy and start beating the shot of her. So hopefully they play more up on that too. I thought that would be a good story, line to play up on. Next, you get a match with what's the boy's name? Swagger versus Santino Marella. A mediocre match here. The interesting thing came from Swagger basically building up rage here after being slapped a shot of by Zeb Coulter, and ends up beating up on Santino here and hitting him with a gut-wrench powerbomb and picking up the win here. Like I said, it was a pretty average match, but it did show some character stuff from Swagger here and actually let him pick up a win for once. So you get your main event next, which is... Oh, before I talk about that, something happened in the back with Vicky Guerrero and Authority. It looked like they was going to fire Vicky, and nothing came out of it. So, just a simple thing that happened in the background. But next you get your match with The Shield and John Cena versus the Wyatt family. An okay match here. I thought that, some parts of the match had some really good hype to it, and especially when Dean Ambrose was in the ring or when Roman Reigns got in the ring. The match kind of was looking like it was going to be over once Cena got in and it was going to go down to the part, but it kind of like slowed back down, which I didn't really feel that was cool. I think that once it got toward the end, it got a lot better and it started to find their pace. You can still tell that, they're not really still jiving good with Cena there, but I thought this was a pretty okay match. Probably my least favorite of the ones that the Shield had versus the Wyatts, but I thought it still was a pretty good match for what it was. The match goes down where where Cena's running roughshod, then Wyatt starts running roughshod, and then Roman Reigns actually gets in and just starts going crazy. Him and Harper start getting at it, and he ends up hitting Harper with the spear and ending the match, which I thought was a pretty good way for Roman Reigns to actually win and not Cena to win, and Bray Wyatt not catch a loss here either, because Harper can take a loss because he's looking still strong, especially going against the tag team titles with the Usos. But like I said, I thought this match was pretty chill. It did get these other Shield members over pretty well. Cena didn't really need it here, and it still did make Bray Wyatt himself look strong still. So yeah, I thought this was pretty chill, and you get the Cena and the Shield cheering at the end. So I am curious to where they're going to go with the Shield from here. I'm curious to what's going to happen with Cena and Bray Wyatt. I'm curious to what's going to happen with Daniel Bryan moving forward. And I'm curious what's going to happen to everybody else on the show. it leaves a lot of questions going into next week's Raw. As far as this show goes, I would give it a B minus. I thought there were some good parts here, but I don't think that it was everything led it to be a bad show or to be a good show. I thought it was a pretty average show at a little bit above average show at best. Hit me up down with my links down below. I got an Instagram now. I'll put the link down there soon. What else? Hit me up on Facebook at Christopher Wallace. And you can like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I got some good amount of watches on my SmackDown review. And, keep watching wrestling, people. Have fun with it. Fuck the smarky shit. And just, watch wrestling, drink a brew, and get it in. Thank you for watching. Peace.